This is how I used a rotating cake stand and a fish tank to film a product commercial for Lubriderm on my phone. We used poster boards and the cake stand to create a seamless transition between both of our lotion bottles. Then we used the fish tank to capture a variety of creative shots from the pool to our home studio. Here's how the final commercial turned out. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to be filming a commercial with my phone. The foot is still broken, so we're going to be doing all this on crutches again, but I'm excited to see. I've never filmed a product commercial on my phone before. I've just done the transition series, so I'm excited to see how this turns out and if we can pull it off. This is actually going to be towards the end of the video, but today's shoot is actually a commercial for Lubriderm, which also is the sponsor of this week's video. So thank you, Lubriderm, very much for sponsoring this week's video. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in this video. To set up this first shot, what we did was get some poster board for like $2 or $3 at Walmart. I use poster boards all the time. You probably heard me in past videos talk about them because I love poster boards. They're the best. For this first shot, what we did was get a white poster board, and all this is doing is reflecting our product and just helping reflect the light a little bit more and add a little bit more fill light. This background is just our black background. We're just trying to create a black background. So we decided to cut out our second black poster board into a circle, which I actually just eyed that. Can you believe that? I feel like that's a pretty good circle to just eyeball. Anyway, we also just bought this rotating table. I think it's actually made to like rotate fancy cakes and stuff, but we're gonna be using it to rotate our product, which is mostly to help create this effect we're going to be doing. First, we're gonna put our black sheet down, and then we're gonna start with the rotation of the white Lubriderm bottle, and then we're gonna speed up the spin in post. And as it's spinning, we're gonna transition into the black men's Lubriderm bottle. So probably the trickiest part to making this a smooth transition is just going to be making sure that these are spinning in the exact middle of this little rotating cake tray. Because if they're a little off-centered, it's just not going to look nearly as good. And it's just gonna take a lot more time in editing if we're not perfect while we're filming. We also have a phone tripod right here because this shot really isn't possible without the tripod. If you're just holding this shot, it's going to be too shaky, as we're probably going to be speed ramping this up by like at least 1,000% to make it spin really quickly. So holding it is just not an option. I'm just looking at this spin for like literally 10 minutes now, and it looks like it's just about perfect. There's also all this area above the frame, which is totally okay to have like the wall in the background and stuff, because we're going to be masking that out anyway. Afterwards, we just want to make sure that the blacks around the bottle look as black as possible. I also forgot to mention that we have a white bed sheet that we're just using to diffuse this window light, which is looking very, very good. I think that's ready to roll. We're shooting on 4K at 24 frames a second. We want to shoot on the lowest frame rate as possible because we're going to be speeding this up a ton. I think we're ready to push record. We're just gonna let it go around 1 or 2 times, so we have plenty of playing room later on in editing. One of the hardest things with product photography is making the products look good. It doesn't even have to do with photo or video. It's watching out for little scuffs and smudges and rips and tears, because up close on photo, you can tell so much more than if you're just looking at it in real life. Whenever it's on a computer later, all these imperfections are 5 times larger. Trying to switch out the products. We want them to sit in the exact same spot. Hopefully that works. Now this bottle is a lot darker, so we don't need to underexpose quite as much. I'm also holding this to kind of help make the background more black. Okay, so we're looking over the footage right now to make sure this effect's even gonna work. If I'm not 100% sure on a shot, I always like to look on my computer and just make sure it's going to work before I move on filming more scenes. But I'm pretty confident after just editing this for a minute that it's going to look good in the final cut, so we can go ahead and shut this down and move on to the next shot. We just had to shoot this upstairs, didn't we? Ugh. This looks awful here. I think it'll be better downstairs. Of all the Airbnbs, I don't know why I chose one with an upstairs. So we looked through the whole house and we think this fireplace background is probably the best place to film. Ready in 3, 2, 1, go. I think that looked good though. That looks a lot better than I thought it would. Go. All right, so we're adding this poster board in the back to kind of fill the light up again. It's just a reflector light, so the back side isn't so dark while the front side is so bright. I think that one was just the money shot. I don't know if we can get any better than that. I'm not exactly sure why, but when filming on the phone, there's something about having a white background that just looks awful. For instance, if I just put my hand up here and it's a regular background, it looks fine, but the second it gets in front of white, it just turns so grungy. Everything other than the white just looks so awful. And I might even have to film half of this shot without having the white in it. For instance, I'll take a little example shot right here. So instead of being all like this, where it gets kind of dark and grungy, maybe just by lifting it up and showcasing some of that background, the hands will look much more appealing than they would like there. 3, 2, 1, go. First is that. 3, 2, 1, go. We just got back from the pool area. We just filmed a couple shots there with the bottle laying in about a millimeter of water, just rocking back and forth. We filmed it in 240 frames a second slow motion, and I think it turned out pretty good. We ended up not filming any YouTube clips there because there were so many kids screaming so loudly, so we figured that the audio would just be ruined anyway. Now we're back at the Airbnb and we're filling up this fish tank. We also really wanted to connect the black background scenes to the bright, vivid pool scenes. I think these will be the perfect middle shots to kind of connect the two scenes together. So yeah, we're just filling this up, and we'll shoot some more and wrap up this video. So I'm filming upside down so I get my camera lower, and we're also putting the bottle in the water so we can lock focus and make sure it's properly focused before we drop it in. Go. Oh, that was a good one. 3, 2, 1, go. That one was super bubbly.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's kind of what we want, right?
Yeah, go. That was sick, dude.
It looks too good for a phone shot, man. Oh, that wasn't good.
We just wrapped up the fish tank scenes. Now it's time to talk about the sponsor of this week's video, Lubriderm. So Lubriderm replenishes and moisturizes dry skin. It's fragrance-free, fortified with vitamin B5 and skin essential moisturizers. Everyone on set today has used this lotion, and we all agree that it doesn't feel gross and greasy. It feels great. So if you're in the need for a new lotion, make sure to check out Lubriderm. I'll put everything you need to know about them in the description box below. Anyway, let's finish up this commercial. One of the tough things to do when recording with your phone in the fish tank is to avoid, I don't know if you guys can tell on the camera, but you can easily see my bright orange phone case. So either A, get a dark phone case like Crispy over here has, and option B is just to make sure your lights are pointing back inwards, just making sure that no light is coming towards your phone, your camera, your hands, etc. Go. Let's try one more. Go. That was sweet. So I think that is a wrap for this commercial. Overall, it wasn't too bad filming on the phone. It wasn't as bad. Well, some shots were a lot harder than I thought. As far as the quality goes, I think the phone looks great. Most people wouldn't know the difference, especially if they're just watching on their phone anyway. Obviously, shooting a commercial on a professional camera should probably look better than your phone, but it's really cool to know that you can get high quality professional footage with a device you carry around in your pocket everywhere. I do think that in some ways, shooting on the phone is a little bit easier. For instance, these slow motion shots, whenever the product is falling into the water, I'm easily able to just scroll on my phone and be able to watch these shots on slow motion without having to plug my SD card into my computer, dragging the clips into Premiere and editing it for a few minutes to see if it looks good. I can just whip out my phone and see if a shot is going to work or not. So that is definitely a huge plus with filming on the phone. But I think overall, camera is just more reliable. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up if you learned anything or if you found it entertaining at all. Or if you want to just thumbs up because I broke my foot, you can do that too. I don't know why, but make sure to subscribe for new videos every single Monday. And yeah, here is the final video we put together. I'll see you guys next week. Peace. This is how I used a rotating cake stand in a fish tank to film a product commercial for Lubriderm on my phone. We used poster boards and the cake stand to create a seamless transition between both of our lotion bottles. Then we used the fish tank to capture a variety of creative shots from the pool to our home studio. Here's how the final commercial turned out.